What's going on, everybody? UFC NOCHE goes down this weekend, baby. Let's go. I'm super hyped. It's going to be a very good card. I just know it. I feel it in my bones. I feel the scraps coming, boys. So yeah, let's break it down. Don't mind the messy face. I got a little bit of bumps and bruises and scrapes from sparring. It's all good. But hey, let's get down to it. We're starting from the bottom, working our way to the top like usual, baby. Let's get into it. All right, first fight of the night, we got Rodrigo Cezinando versus Daniil Donchenko. Both of these guys were on the most recent Ultimate Fighter. They were on the same team. They were both on DC, Team DC. And I'm going to be going for Daniil Donchenko. I think he's way better on the feet. I think he has very, very good boxing. He puts punches together well. He has great punch placement, right? And I think he has better vision boxing. I think his boxing and his puncher vision and his targeting is a lot better than Rodrigo's is. Rodrigo does a very good job at staying poised in the midst of chaos and finding a way to win the fight. If he can get Daniil on his back, he's going to win. If he can use his wrestling, he's going to win. But I think Daniil knows that, and I think Daniil has the tools to keep the fight standing, and his boxing is fucking really good, in my opinion. I think he has very, very good boxing. We will see a very good scrap right off the bat. Someone is gonna get finished, and I do believe if Daniil can keep the fight on the feet, not get gassed out, trying to take out Rodrigo, who is hard to knock out and take out, don't get me wrong. I think Daniil could get the job done. If the fight lasts on the feet and he can't finish it and he gasses himself out, we're going to see Rodrigo start to take over the fight from there once Daniil kind of gasses out. But both of them are really athletic, meaning they're really big and strong. So it's going to be, if they both gas each other out, it's going to be a crazy, could get a little slower towards the second half of the fight. But I'm going Daniil Donchenko. I think he's a little bit better on the feet. I could see him winning by KO or TKO to start off the night. Next up, we got Montse Rendon and Alice Pereira. Alice Pereira looks like she's probably going to be the new pretty face of the women's divisions, right? Every once in a while we get a new woman fighter who is very popular and very pretty, and it seems like she's going to be the next one. And she's got the skills to back it up too, okay? Let's not just put a pretty face on her, right? She's definitely got the skills to back it up. Her striking, she's very poppy with her striking. She's not one of those dude, and I hate to say this because I don't want to dog on women MMA, but she's not one of those women MMA fighters that kind of like, yeah, you see it a lot, and I don't want to be the one to kind of like shit on women's MMA because I am a big advocate for women's MMA. I love women's MMA, and I know I've kind of shit on a little bit of fighters here and there, but she's not one of those girls who look down and close her eyes when she punches. Montse Rendon, she kind of is. Okay, so I think Alice Pereira, she's fucking tall and lengthy, and when she punches you, she's looking. Her eyes are open the whole time. She's got like that Lemos, poppy boxing where she just keeps an eye on you the whole time like those dangerous strikers do. She's got very good boxing. She's got length. I think she's going to beat Montse Rendon. Montse, you need to use your experience, your UFC experience. You need to use all of your MMA skills, put the pressure to her, get her gassed out, get her back against the cage, get her on the ground, and that's where you will have most success. If you keep the fight on the feet, you will lose the fight. Alice Pereira needs to keep the fight on the feet and look for that TKO. I think she can get the job done. She's just too calm on the feet, right? And she has very good timing, good reach. She really extends her punches. She doesn't keep nothing short, nothing fast. Like, she's not trying to like be too fast and short. She's really long, really lengthy. I think she's going to get the job done on the feet as well. Next up the raw, we got Alden Correa and Alessandro Costa. This is a good fight. Alden Correa he's got really good skills. He's got good boxing skills. He's got good wrestling, good grappling. Alessandro Costa, same thing. They're kind of two of the same guys, right? Alessandro Costa is a little bit more stockier, a little bit more athletic. I think Alessandro Costa has a little bit more slick jiu-jitsu skills as well. He's got very good submissions off of his back. And he's also been fighting in Combate Americas. I think he's fought a couple times for them. So he has his fair share of fighting very tough Mexican dudes. Okay. So I'm gonna go Alessandro Costa. I think he's gonna be a little bit better everywhere, right? I think Alden Correa definitely has a very good chance of winning this fight. Like I said, he's got good boxing, he's got good wrestling, he mixes it up very well. He doesn't just choose one, right? He does good at mixing it up. Alessandro Costa, he's been in dog fights. He's been in very tough fights before. I think that he's a little bit more athletic, a little more explosive, and a little bit more slick on the ground, and he's not going to let Alden control him if he does look for wrestling. So I'm going Alessandro Costa as long as he doesn't gas out, which he's a flyweight, so let's hope he doesn't. But I'm going Alessandro Costa. Maybe by decision. This might be our first decision. Maybe a submission because he's very slick on the ground. So, yeah, we're going Alessandro Costa decision or submission. Next up, we got Zachary Reese versus Cedriques Dumas. Cedriques Dumas. To me, both of these guys are almost like really similar in styles, right? They kind of have the same styles. Zachary Reese throws bombs, throws haymakers. I think he's a little bit more accurate than Dumas likes to be. I'm going Zachary Reese by TKO. I think this is going to be a good, fun fight unless, these guys are very timid, which I don't see Zachary Reese being very timid. Dumas kind of likes to play that game a little bit, but he also does come forward. He's aggressive. I think he's a little less skilled on the feet than Zachary Reese, and I think Zachary Reese is going to expose the striking of Dumas. Dumas also, I don't think he's fought in a while. Let's see when his last fight was. His last fight was a loss to Oleszczuk. Got knocked out in round 1 in April, so that wasn't too long ago. So he's getting right back in there. I don't know the severity of the knockout. I don't remember. I knew he lost by TKO. I just didn't know when or to who. But I think Zachary Reese is going to go in there, and he's probably going to get the job done by KO or TKO. He's really good on the feet. Not the most technical fighter, but I think he packs a little bit more power, and he's a little bit more precise. And he's, I believe, a southpaw. So I think that should give Cedric Dumas a little bit of problems, because I do think Cedric is also a southpaw. So fighting another southpaw when you're a southpaw is difficult, and then also if you are orthodox, fighting a southpaw is also equally difficult if you're not used to it. So, yeah, I'm going Zachary Reese. Next up, we got Jesus Aguilar and Luis Garol. Luis lost his UFC debut to a very good, what's his name? He just fought. He lost by TKO. It was Ode Osborne. He lost to TKO by Ode Osborne in round 2, okay? And I think people are low-key sleeping because Jesus Aguilar is the underdog here, and I think people are forgetting on how good this dude is. He's got 7 submissions, 1 knockout, but this dude has fucking power to knock you out, like bad. Like, he has power. He's beaten really, really good guys in the flyweight division. I think, Luis got thrown in there against the Wolves in his first fight, which, you can't really be mad at him. But, he showed his stuff, and he got beaten by Ode, who's a very experienced veteran. Jesus, though, also very experienced veteran, and I think he's got more tools to work with than Luis does. I think Jesus is going to get the job done. Like I said, he's got power on the feet when he throws that overhand. He almost had a KO of the year, like last year, I think. Crazy overhand right, put this dude to sleep, Shannon Ross. And, Luis has very good elbows up close. He's going to be a little shorter. He's got really good elbows on the inside. He's got decent wrestling, decent jiu-jitsu. But I think Jesus Aguilar is going to get the job done by, it's either going to be a TKO, submission. I mean, I could see this fight going all 3 ways. I could see a TKO coming, honestly, from either side. If there's going to be a submission, Jesus is going to get the submission win. And if it's a decision, I think Jesus is winning the decision. I should say that. So I'm going Jesus 2-1 on the 3 different ways you could win the fight. Next up, we got Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. Tatiana Suarez. I think Amanda Lemos has no answers when she fights wrestlers and people who put the pressure on her and put her on her back. She's crumbled before on her back. She doesn't show any sign of urgency of getting up later on in fights. No signs of urgency trying to finish the fight when she's down on cards. I think Tatiana Suarez is going to go in there, swarm her, probably get the submission victory or some kind of TKO, mount a crucifix, mount to a back to a rear naked choke kind of deal. I think Tatiana Suarez is very, very good. One of the best wrestler women in the division, top heavy, best ground game when she's on top. I think she's really good on top. So I do believe she's going in there, and if she doesn't get caught by Amanda Lemos' striking, if she could just negate the striking, get in there clean, get in there, get out, I think Tatiana Suarez wins. And so far, I think I'm picking everybody on the left side so far, except Alice. Nope, I picked Danielle and Alice, who are on the right side. Next up, we got Claudio Puelles and Joaquim Silva. This is going to be a good fight. This one's a hard one to call because both guys are a little up and down. Joaquim Silva's been in the UFC for a minute, and he's really just up and down. Not a bad career, but he wins one, lose one, win one, lose one, you know. Claudio Puelles is, I think, on a 2-fight skid right now, but he's fought Dan Hooker, and he got TKO'd, and then he had a very close split decision with Ziam. So I'm going to go Claudio Puelles. I think he's fought the better competition, and I think he's looked a little bit better in his UFC run. Joaquim has looked good in moments, then looked bad in moments, but that's just, how careers go. And I think Claudio Puelles is going to get the job done. I think this is going to be a very good fight. Both guys go in there and they scrap, So I'm going Claudio Puelles, barely edging it out. Maybe a submission. If someone gets knocked out, it's probably going to be Claudio. If someone gets submitted, it's probably going to be Silva. And if someone wins a decision, it's probably going to be Claudio. So I'm going Claudio Puelles. Next up, we got Jose Daniel Medina and Dusko Todorovic. Now, check this out, guys. I want to throw a stat out there, okay? Because Dusko is negative 325 favorite. And Jose is the plus 260 underdog. Y'all want to know what Dusko's UFC record is? Do you guys really want to know what Dusko's UFC record is? Let me just tell you, it's not great. I'm pretty positive he's like 3-6 in the UFC. 3-6. He's won 2 fights. Nope. No. Sorry. He's won 3 fights. 1, 2, and a 3. And he's lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights. Yes, he's lost 6 fights. I need to make sure I did that right because the bald guys. Too many bald guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he's on a 3-fight losing streak. Listen, I don't know how a guy on a 3-fight losing streak is that big of an underdog. Jose Daniel Medina is a fucking dog, bro. If you've seen him fight, he's got that dog in him. He's lost to Gautier, who's a fucking marauder. And he lost to Zachary Reese, who's fucking tall and got reach advantage on him. And he's just a big old brute compared to Jose Daniel Medina, who's a fucking dog. I'm going Daniel Medina. I think it's time. I think he's due. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, but I don't think he's as bad as Dusko. I think he's better than Dusko, and I think he's going to get the job done. Dusko is literally on a 3-fight losing streak currently, and he's 3-6 in the UFC. I don't know how he's in the UFC still. No disrespect to him. He's a middleweight. He'd whoop my ass. Okay? I'm just talking. Jose Daniel Medina, though, I think he does got what it takes to beat this guy. I'm going Jose Daniel Medina for the underdog pick here, and I think he might be the underdog pick of the night, to be honest. Next up, we got Alexander Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira, whatever. This is one of those fights, in my opinion, where Alexander should win the fight, but if he gets clipped one time by Diego, he might get knocked out. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be winning the fight, and then Diego's going to throw that fucking overhand that he knocked out Michael Johnson with, and it's going to be a very bad day for Alexander Hernandez. But I'm going to pick Alexander Hernandez. I think he's finally coming into his own. I think he's finally figuring it out. He's had a long UFC career so far. Not like super long. It's not like he's an old guy. But he's been in the UFC for a while. He's had his ups and downs. He's finally on the path of like getting that snowball rolling, getting the win streak going. He knocked out Chase Hooper in his last fight like I said he would. And I think he's going to use this momentum to go into that Diego Ferreira. He's going to be in shape. He's going to be feeling himself. His timing is going to be good, but he just needs to watch out for that Diego overhand. If he could steer clear from that overhand and make sure he just shuts down Diego Ferreira, any offense that he throws, I think Alex could get the job done by either TKO or decision. We're going Alexander Hernandez, but do not sleep on the Diego Ferreira upset by TKO, okay? That is a good bet to put in there. I'm not saying bet on anybody, but it is a good bet. Okay, I'm just saying that. Alexander Hernandez, though, that is who I'm going for. Not going for, but it's who I'm going with. Alexander Hernandez. Next up, we got Santiago Luna versus Kwang Lee. Santiago Luna making his UFC debut. I'm not going to lie. I'm not too impressed on what I've seen in the regional circuit from Santiago Luna. He does have wins by knockout. I'm impressed that he knocks people out. But I'm not impressed in the technique. Okay, I'm not impressed in the technique. He looks like he's just a little wild on the feet. Doesn't have the tightest boxing, but he has a lot of power. And I'm not saying that he's not good. Kwang Lee, though, he's a bit of a veteran in the UFC. This is a big fight for both guys. Let's not sugarcoat things. For both guys, this is a big fight. Okay, but UFC NOCHE, first fight on the main card. UFC debut for Santiago Luna. That's a lot of pressure, man. And I don't know if I could bet on that pressure for someone that is only 6-0 coming into their first UFC fight. I'm gonna go Kwang Lee getting the job done, but we've seen Kwang Lee get knocked out with the right hand before. Santiago Luna has a very, very good right hand that he puts people to sleep with. The way he sets up his right hand, though, I'm not too impressed with. But if he does connect, he could hurt Kwang Lee. Kwang Lee is pretty decent everywhere. He's got decent striking, got decent submissions. I do think if, the fight goes to the ground, he should have the advantage there. So I'm going to go Kwang Lee with the underdog pick as well. If I'm wrong, fuck it, I'm wrong. I don't even know really too much about either of these guys. They're both really young in their UFC careers. And it is what it is. But I'm going to go Kwang Lee for the money line. Santiago Luna's not a bad pick here either, but I'm going to go Kwang Lee. I think he has what it takes to get the job done. Next up, we got Kelvin Gastelum, Dustin Stoltzfus. This is a fight, even though that the odds look like that, negative 250 and plus 250, this is a very winnable fight for both guys, right? Like, it's a lot closer than what the odds have it. Dustin Stoltzfus is very good, right? And Kelvin Gastelum, we know who Kelvin Gastelum is, but it's a matter of what Kelvin Gastelum shows up that night. And if it's just the Kelvin Gastelum from his last fight, I do think he edges out Dustin Stoltzfus in a 3-round fight, maybe gets a TKO, right? I think both of these guys, for who they are and what they've done, are very good. Gastelum only fights dogs, though. Like, look at this. He's fought in his last 3, Brady, D-Rod, who's on a fucking win streak right now, and then Joe Pyfer, who fucking flatlined him twice in the first round, right? Pyfer had him hurt bad twice in the first round, and then Kelvin Gastelum fucking got back on his high horse and went in there in 2 and 3, and I don't think Dustin has that same type of finishing ability that Joe Pyfer does, or that crazy one-punch knockout power, and I don't think he has the same height advantage, if I'm not correct. He's only an inch taller with a 4-inch reach advantage, but who doesn't have a reach advantage against Kelvin, right? And so I think it's going to be a little bit closer of a fight. I think Kelvin is going to get the job done, to be honest, probably by decision. He just needs to be able to see the punches coming, defend them, roll with them, rather than getting cracked like he does in every fucking fight. He needs to start putting a little bit more discipline in the defense area. And I do think he gets the job done, but Dustin Stoltzfus, this is a good pick for him since he's so much of an underdog. It's really not a bad, him winning this is not just because, he's an underdog, it's a good pick. No, it's a good pick because he does have the ability to beat Kelvin Gastelum where Kelvin Gastelum is at in his stage of his career right now. It would be a very big win, the biggest win for Dustin, and that might be a little too much pressure for him, though, since it's his biggest fight, biggest win, biggest name. I think Kelvin gets the job done by decision. Next up, we got Jared Gordon versus Rafa Garcia. I'm going Jared Gordon. I think he's fought the better people. I think he's looked better even when he's lost. Rafa Garcia is he's good, but he's not the most super technical guy on the feet or on the ground. I think Jared is better overall as a fighter. I think he's fought better people overall and looked better against overall better competition, even if he's lost. And I think he did get robbed when he fought Paddy Pimblett. I do think he beat Paddy Pimblett just outright in the fight by decision. I thought he won that fight. Not even trying to hate on Paddy. I'm really not. And, it is what it is. The fight's over. But I did think he won that fight. And that means a lot, right? Because look at Paddy. Look at where he's at now, right? And Jared Gordon shows that he can hang and beat. Well, even though he lost, he can hang with those guys and give them a very good run for their money, right? So I'm going Jared Gordon probably by decision. Rafa Garcia brings the fight. He's a dog. He's hard to put away, but I'm going to go Jared Gordon. Next up, we got Rob Font versus David Martinez. David Martinez fought earlier this year in March. He's taking the fight on short notice because Chihuahuas pulled out of the fight because he's a Pinocha. I don't know why you pull out of a fight due to injury and then you post on social media 2 weeks before you were scheduled to fight. You're sparring with Emiliano Vargas. I don't know how that makes sense. I think he was, I don't want to, it's hard to say people are scared of people, but he might have been scared. He might have been scared of this fight. Rob Font has very good hands. He's got really good capabilities to keep the fight on the feet. He's a very good veteran with a crazy knockout punch in his right hand. He's got devastating KO power if he finds that punch. I think he had the better... if we're talking about the Rob Font versus Chihuahuas guy, definitely Rob Font has the better hands. I don't know too much about David Martinez. That's why this is a dangerous fight, and the odds are pretty damn close. So David Martinez must be pretty good. I think he lost his last fight, if I'm not mistaken. No, he won his last fight. Oh, okay, against Oliveira by knockout. Okay, so we're going to see a good stand-up fight. If David Martinez comes in shape, we're going to see a good fight. The first round should be good since David Martinez is taking the fight on short notice. We don't know how his training camp was. I don't know how his training camp was. I haven't looked into it or what anybody has said. I'm going to pick the safe bet here, though, and go Rob Font, because he's been in training camp, he's been in shape, and he's ready to go. And it's kind of hard to switch up and get ready for a different unknown guy who's not ranked. It's hard to do that. It's hard. And it's a big risk for Rob Font to take this fight. But Rob Font's Rob Font. He ain't going to fucking say no to anybody, and he's not going to pull out of no fucking fight. And so, he might have pulled out a fight before. I'm just kind of talking shit. But I'm going to go Rob Font, maybe by knockout in round 2 or 3. Probably maybe decision, maybe as well. I don't see a submission going on here. Maybe David is good on the feet or on the ground and goes in there and gets a real fast submission while both guys are dry. Who knows? But I'm going Rob Font. He's got the experience. I think he's got really, really good boxing, underrated boxing in the bantamweight division. And yeah, I think he comes out on top. Now, the next one, Diego Lopes and Gene Silva, 2 Brazilian men headlining a UFC NOCHE. I'm going to be going for, but I do think Diego Lopes is going to pull this one off. I think Gene Silva is very, very good, very, very dangerous everywhere. He's got really good striking, good submissions. I think Diego Lopes is obviously the biggest fight of his career, the most dangerous fighter he's fought, and it's such a big jump that he really needs. Gene Silva is going to have to be on a different level that night, and he is very capable of doing so. Okay, Gene Silva is very, very capable of showing up, showing out, and beating Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes, though, his last fight with Alexander Volkanovski, right? Don't get me wrong. Was that his last fight? It was. When you fight someone at that level and you barely lose, right? You barely lose. He lost, but it was a very close fight. You come out of those fights better. And Diego Lopes, I believe, is going to come out of that fight a lot better than he was during the Volkanovski fight. Even though Gene Silva is a totally different style of fight than Alexander Volkanovski, he's going to be a lot more weird, a lot more, dynamic. I think Diego Lopes is going to have a little bit of a struggle on the feet, to be honest. If I'm not, if I'm being totally honest, he might struggle on the feet a little bit. But, Gene Silva's never been cracked, right? We haven't seen someone punch him in the face, like, clean and hard. Diego Lopes has a fucking mean right hand, and he has very good timing when the collision happens. He's very good at timing that right hand. He's very good at finding the right hand. Even if you're kind of slipping and moving, he'll find you. He'll put up a couple punches to just land the right hand. So we'll see how Gene Silva can do getting cracked by Diego Lopes that night. And I do think Diego Lopes has better ground game and jiu-jitsu. I wish we seen that a little bit more. I wish he was a little bit more punchy to take down, to punch, to take down, right? But he's not. He's like strictly boxing, and then if the fight gets into a scramble position, he'll try to like find the opening in the scrambles. But I think if he puts Gene Silva against the cage, takes him down, puts his back against the cage, pretty much like BSD, Benoit Saint Denis, did to Marcio Ruffi. I think that's the best way to deal with these guys that fight the way they do on the feet. Just look out for the front head chokes and stuff like that, which I do think Diego Lopes has, every ability doing. I think he's very, very good on the ground. I think he's better on the ground than Gene Silva is. I think, now this might be a crazy take, I think Lopes is better than Gene Silva on the ground than Gene Silva is better than Diego. Like Gene Silva, ground game, Diego Lopes, ground game, right? Gene Silva striking, Diego Lopes striking. Does that make sense? Like, Diego Lopes is a lot better on the ground than Gene Silva is better than Diego Lopes on the feet. Because I do think Gene Silva has better technique and is more slick on the feet than Diego, but I do think Diego can catch him on the feet. Whereas if the fight were on the ground, I don't see Gene Silva catching Diego. He might catch him in a front headlock that might put like some kind of guillotine, ninja choke, power choke, that might put Diego Lopes in trouble for a second here or there. But I think Diego Lopes finds the escape to that, finds a pass, gets the side control, and maintains a top position. So I'm going to go Diego Lopes, maybe by decision, late round finish. I could see Gene Silva finishing the fight early with some kind of crazy something, Gene Silva is a dog, man. Don't get me wrong. He does have fucking power, too. He could crack, and he could hurt Lopes on the feet very early in the fight. It's hard for me to pick this fight. It is. It's hard for me to pick who I think is going to win. I'm just leaning a little more towards Diego Lopes, right? There's some fights where I'm leaning like this. There's some fights where I'm leaning like this. But there's some fights where I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm leaning just a little bit this way. And that's how this fight is. Diego Lopes, I think, gets the job done. But yeah, anyway, that is the video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. I will be seeing you on the next one. And make sure, if you want to support the channel, become a member now. Become a member today. Don't miss a video. But yeah, appreciate you guys. I will be seeing you guys in the future. Deuces.